Good afternoon, everyone. It's your Ed Guru at your service. So today I prepared questions and explanation for this live review. Ano po? So, ayan. So, welcome po yung mga nais mag-join on this review. So, I focused on professional education. So, let's start. So I have here sample review questions about professional education. So I was do this those ano po, so sana makatulong. Sana explanations and concepts that will be covered later on ay makatulong sa inyo sa inyong pagkaroon. So I have here question. Okay. So you can join me in answering the question. So the first thing that you can do is to have your paper and your gadgets. Example, your cell phone in answering. So tingnan natin so far. Have you reviewed concerning professional education? Kung may na-review nyo na ito, so this can serve as a refresher, okay, on your review. So I will be giving 30 seconds per number. So that will be your allotted time for you to answer each question. Right after I reveal the correct answer, so I will be discussing and the explanation concerning the topic. So tip lang po in taking the exam. So it doesn't matter na sa ulo mo lang. Sinaulo mo lang yung question and at the same time yung answer. So mas mahalaga doon is you know the concept behind each question. So yun yung napakahalaga kasi doon eh. So hindi, it is not just about merely recalling of facts, hindi po ganon. So dapat we know we must know, of course, the concepts. Ano bang konsepto ang meron dun sa question na yon? And aside from which, you must know how to eliminate options. So minsan, you have to look for the keywords sa pagsasagot. Hindi karaka-raka ay sauluhin mo lang yung tanong and then yung sagot. Hindi po ganun eh. So, mas mahalaga talaga is you know the concept behind each question. So yun po yung gagawin natin maya-maya once we start answering my provided questions. Ayan. So I think I am ready enough to show you the question. Okay. So again, the allotted time is 30 minutes for you to answer each question. So this is merely based on professional education. So as part of the coverage of your exam, so this is one of the factors that you need to focus on. Are you ready na? Ready na po ba? Ayan. So it's already 5:10 in the afternoon. So I think we can start. So let's have the first question. You can answer using your pen and paper. So tingnan natin. So after doing or after answering the questions, so ilan ba yung nakuha nyo? Ano na tamang sagot? So again, as what I said a while ago, so kung hindi na bago yung tanong sa inyo, so this will serve as a refresher. Okay? Pero kung this will be your first time to encounter this question, so better to know more, okay, about the concept or the guidelines concerning it. Now let's have question number 1. The following are part of Stenberg's theory of development. Exactly. A. Practical intelligence. B. Spatial intelligence. C. Analytical intelligence. D. Creative intelligence. So let's have a countdown. 30 seconds po. Ano? 30 seconds. Okay. So are you done answering? So time is up. Let us reveal the answer. So the answer is letter B, spatial intelligence. Okay. Did you get the correct answer? Okay, good. Ayan. So tama yung sagot. Okay. And if ever you got the wrong answer, so here is the explanation. You know? So we do have kinds of intelligence. We have practical intelligence, creative intelligence, and analytical intelligence. So sorry, na-reveal yung second question. Ano? So when we say practical intelligence, so it is one's ability to successfully interact with the everyday world practical intelligence. So it is related to the contextual subtheory. Practically intelligent people are especially adept at behaving in successful ways in their external behavior, in their external environment. So when we say practical environment, practical intelligence, so this is the same with solving math. Diba may mga tinatawag tayo sa math, yung kontrabiho, or compute de biho kung tawagin natin, di ba? Yung pag nagko-compute tayo, we have our own ways on how we attain the correct answer. Okay? That is part of being practical. So, yung halimbawa, magagaling sa math, di ba? Yung mga magagaling sa math, kalimitan, they arrived, di ba, with the correct answer, even if they will not follow the correct process. Diba? So yun po. And then creative intelligence. So the experiential subtheory is related to creative intelligence, which is one's ability to use existing knowledge to create new ways to handle new problems or cope in new situations. If you are familiar with Bloom's taxonomy, so creating is the highest or has the highest level. So when you say creative, you can create new things. Di ba? Nakakapag-create tayo out from an old one to a new one. So that is part of creating in revised Bloom's taxonomy. So through adapting the knowledge, through having our prior knowledge, we can create another, it can be another information from it. Okay? We can arrive with another information. We can arrive with another formulation. And then when we say analytical intelligence, the exponential subtheory is related to analytical intelligence, which is essentially academic intelligence. Analytical intelligence is used to solve problems and is the kind of intelligence that is measured by standard archetypes. So it is more on the intelligence itself of a person. So how high the intelligence of a person is. So when we say analytical, so the person knows how to analyze, how to make an analysis of things, okay? How to evaluate, scrutinize things, how to understand things, how to understand a specific situation through analysis. Okay. So since there are only three kinds of intelligence, somatic, so among the four options, so the spatial is excluded. When it comes to Sternberg's theory of development. Right? So I hope you are learning. Moving on to the next question. Which stage of the psychosexual theory do young boys experience rivalry, oh my God, with their father for their mother's attention and affection? So rivalry of son, okay, and father. A, oral. B, anal. C, phallic. D, latency. So you can answer, and I will give you 30 seconds to finish answering. All right, going back to the question, which stage of the psychosexual theory do young boys experience rivalry with their father for their mother's attention and affection? Now, let us reveal the answer. So, phallic. Okay, now let's have the third question. Okay. Angela focuses her attention in the schoolwork and vigorous play that consume most of her physical energy. Which stage of psychosexual theory illustrates her behavior? A, oral. B, anal. C, phallic. D, latency. So again, you can join with me in answering this question. Let us see if you already knew this question. So I'll be giving you again 30 seconds to answer this question. Okay, time is up. What is the correct answer? So the correct answer is latency. Okay, so did you get the correct answer? Now we will explain question number 2 and number 3. There you go. Psychosexual development stages. So we do have oral stage, anal stage, phallic stage, latency, and genital stage. Okay. So let's go back with the first stage. So when we say oral stage, this stage lasts up to 18 months from the birth of a child. So the principal source of pleasure derived by the child during this stage is that of sucking. Sucking involves both tactile stimulation of mouth as well as swallowing. Later, when the tip erupt, the mouth is used by the child for biting and chewing. Since the child is primarily concerned about seeking pleasure, she needs immediate gratification. So during this oral stage, so you know, if you're going to imagine 18-month-old baby, so wala pang masyadong alam. Wala, as in, totally wala pang kaalam-alam yan sa nangyayari sa paligid niya. So, sucking, di ba? Sucking makes him pleasant. Di ba? So, in sucking, he gains pleasure. So, napakasimple lang pag oral stage. Because when we say oral stage, it is the beginning stage. Okay? So, ang babaw lang ng kaligayahan pag nasa stage na. Anal stage. This stage starts when the child is around 1.5 years old and ends when she is 3 years of age. During the initial part of anal stage, there is pleasurable sensation of excretion, and later there is erotic stimulation of an anal mucosa through retention of feces. This stage is divided into two substages. We do have anal expulsive period and the anal retention period. So this is the stage when parents teach their child toilet training. So yeah. Kasi 'di ba, those are children are sensible, di ba? Are mindful when it comes to what? Excretion of feces. So yung pag-poop, di ba? So yeah. Moving on to the next stage. This stage begins when the child becomes 3 years old and continues until 5 years old. So imagine, 3 to 5 years old na yung phallic. During this stage, rudiments of sex can be seen in the child. Child plays with its genitals and relieves tension and derives pleasure. Erotic activity is initially linked both psychologically and physically with activities and sensations associated with urination. Urination is an important activity as it helps the child to consolidate its gender identity. So here when we say phallic stage, children are mindful enough, okay, when it comes to urinating. So yan. And then at the same time, of course, they are being curious. Oh, paano ba ako umiihi? Diba? Okay. So, ganito pala. This is the actual experience while I am PA. And then at the same time, minsan, diba, parang there are instances wherein nahihipo yung private part on this stage. Nagkakaroon ng curiosity. It triggers the curiosity of those children who are under this stage. In Oedipus complex, a boy has incestuous craving for the mother and a growing resentment toward the father. He imagines that his father is going to harm him. Threats from a resentful and punitive father may confirm this fear. His fears concerning what the father may do to him is centered on his genital organs, as it is the source of his attachment to the mother. He fears that the father will remove him. In Oedipus complex, so there is rivalry. Diba? Rivalry between the boy and his father. So kaya 'di ba sinasabi natin, or there is a saying that opposite attracts. So pag lalaki daw yung anak, mas attached siya sa mother. Pag babae naman yung anak, mas attached siya kaysa sa mas attached siya doon sa father. So yun yung mga matatandang kasabihan na kahit ako ay naririnig ko na rin before. Diba? Yung mga mama's boy, daddy's girl. So, iniisip nila, okay, yung mga batang lalaki, or the son of course, is thinking that his competitor is his father. When it comes to attention, diba? Akala nila yung ina nila, diba? Yung ina nila aagawin sa kanila ng tatay nila. Okay, there are instances wherein, halimbawa, the father is cuddling, of course, with the mother, di ba? Yung naglalambing. So, ando na yung anak na lalaki sisingit, di ba? Akala kasi niya aagawan na siya or mawawalan na siya ng atensyon. Okay? Ng kanyang ina or aagawin na ng tatay niya yung nanay. Number 4, latency stage. According to Freud, at the close of 5th year, infantile sexuality is gradually repressed, both because of the fear of social consequences and because of the realization that the love object is an adult. During this period is about 5 or 6 years, the child is not consciously concerned with sexual matters. As the literal meaning of the word, latency, suggests sexual urges are hidden during this stage. Child's active interest turns increasingly outward. This period, the sexual urges are diverted into recreational, academic, and social pursuits. The child spends all her energy to excel and prove herself. Child's energy is diverted towards developing a sense of confidence. Kasi on this stage, pumapasok na yung bata. Diba? It is about 5 or 6 years, diba, of the child. So sa ganong edad kasi, it can be kinder na yung bata. So from there, syempre, since the child is having no environment, which is the school, so competition is there. Sense of competition is there. So makikita yun ng bata. Bakit yun mararamdaman ng bata on this stage? Kasi, pag pumapasok siya, syempre, mayroon siyang mga kaklase na kung saan nagpe-perform din. So of course, the mentality of the child is to perform well. Okay? And aside from developing the sense of competence, so of course, the child is confident enough to show, diba? To show up. Okay? Ipinapakita lang niya na, eto, I can go along, I can learn together with my classmates. So, iba yung environment kasi. Bago sa kanya yung environment. So, what he can do is to, go along, okay? Is to, what do you call this? Yung makasabay. Ayan. Makasabay siya kung anong environment or bagong environment na meron siya. Genital stage. This stage begins with the onset of adolescence. During genital stage, sexual feelings reappear with new intensity and in more mature form. As a result, self-love of the child gets channelized into genuine heterosexual relationships. Sexual attraction, socialization, group activities, vocational planning, and preparations for marrying and raising a family begin to manifest. By the end of adolescence, these concerns become fairly well established. The person becomes transformed from a pleasure seeking, self loving infant into a reality oriented, socialized adult. The principal biological function of the genital stage is that of reproduction. So since it is the onset of adolescence, so syempre, nandyan na yung may crush na yung bata. Diba? He is physically attracts with the opposite sex. Ayan. So nag-iiba na uli. Okay? Nag-iiba na uli yung mindset ng bata kapag genital stage. Diba? There is an instance wherein he is foreseeing, okay, what maybe he become, diba? In the future. Okay. I hope you are learning. There you have it, the fourth question. Mr. Cruz uses images and language to represent and understand her various lessons or his various lessons. Sorry for the typographical error to preschool learners. What stage in the cognitive theory of development explains this? A. Sensory motor. B. Pre-operational. C. Concrete operation. D. Formal operation. Your timer starts now. Okay, time is up. Now I will reveal the answer. The answer is pre-operational. Now let's have number 5. A child tells you that they always put their clothes on by themselves in the morning, but cannot take them off by themselves in the evening. The child is most likely in which of the following stages of Piaget's cognitive development? A. Formal operational. B. Sensory motor. C. Concrete operational. D. Pre-operational. Your timer starts now. Okay, I will now reveal the answer. The correct answer is pre-operational. Did you get the correct answer? I hope so. Now let's have the discussion concerning these stages of Piaget's cognitive development. So number 1 is sensory motor stage. pre-operational stage, concrete operational stage, formal operational stage. Sorry. So going back to the first stage, this stage begins at birth and lasts till the child is about 2 years old. So from birth up to 2 years old. It is called sensory motor stage. It is because children's thinking involves seeing, hearing, moving, touching, testing, and so on. This stage marks a traditional stage for a person from a biological to a psychological being. In the first few weeks of life of the baby's behavior consists simply of reflex responses such as sucking, stepping, and grasping. Later, the reflex disappears and the baby chooses what and when to grasp. During this period, the infants attain the concept of object permanence. This refers to the understanding that objects and events continue to exist even when they cannot directly be seen, heard, or touched. So, meaning to say, when we say sensory motor stage, so this is the beginning stage of cognitive development. So, from birth, okay, up to 2 years old. So, alam nyo, yung mga kalimitang ginagawa ng mga bata, yun yung alam nila. That is their understanding on how, okay, that's why they are exist on this world. Diba? So, inisa-isa na dyan. Seeing, hearing, moving, touching, testing, and among others. Okay. And at the same time, concept of object permanence. So, um, sense of separation. Diba? Sense of separation is not part of their thinking. So, hindi nila naiisip na there are instances which may get separated with, of course, with their parents. So, wala pa dito sa stage na yun. So, akala nila lahat ng bagay na nakikita nila, lahat ng bagay na nahihipo nila, lahat ng bagay na naaamoy nila using their senses, okay, andun lang, present lang lang. So, yun yung meron dito sa sensory motor stage. Okay? Next, we do have pre-operational stage. So, from 2 years old to 7 years old. So, it is termed pre-operational stage because the children have not yet mastered the ability to perform mental operations. Children's thinking during this stage is governed by what is seen rather than by logical principles. So kung ano lang yung nakikita nila. Okay. Their ability or is based on what they've seen. Okay. Kaya nga, nandyan tayong mga parents or guardians on how we can guide, di ba, those children under pre-operational stage. They need our guidance ng mga batang nasa ganitong edad from 2 to 7 years. Okay? Number 3, concrete operational stage. So, makikita natin, in different stage or in each stage, yung edad. Okay, they included years per stage. So, on this third stage, so it is comprised of children aged 7 to 11 years. At this stage, a child is concerned with the integration of the stability of his cognitive systems. He learns to add, subtract, multiply, and divide. So dito alam na niya yung MDAS. He is in a position to classify concrete objects. So classification of concrete objects is present. In short, children develop the abilities of rational thinking, but their thinking is tied to concrete objects. So what they've learned about concrete objects, hanggang dun lang. It is only limited there. Okay? So, ayan po. Kapag concrete operational stage. But then, good thing, di ba, we can see the progress from pre-operational to concrete. So, alam na nyo yung MDAS, yung basic math. No? So that is a good thing. Next, formal operational stage. So it is about 11 and above, 11 years old and above. So this type is characterized by the emergence of logical thinking and reasoning. Other important cognitive attainments during this period are the ability to think about the hypothetical possibilities and to solve problems through logical deductions and in a systematic manner. So hypothetical possibilities. So they can sorry they can have okay they can give wise judgment. They can have a wild guess, di ba? Pag ganun, when we say hypothetical possibilities. And then, they can solve problems. Imagine, kanina, doon sa concrete, okay, alam lang nila, SDM does. But here, imagine, they can solve problems. Di ba? And of course, through the use of those operations, syempre. Diba? For example, in math, okay? In solving mathematical problems, of course, there is an involvement of MDAS. Okay? I hope you're learning. Now, let's have question number 6. A teacher who subscribes to the pragmatic philosophy of education believes that experienced study should follow learning in her teaching. Which of the following does she do to support her belief? A. Encouraging learners to memorize factual knowledge. B. Equipping learners with the basic abilities and skills. C. Providing learners opportunities to apply theories and principles. D. Requiring learners full master of the lesson. You can answer now, and I will show you the countdown. Okay, we're done with the countdown. And now, I will show you the answer. The answer is letter C, providing learners opportunities to apply theories and principles. So let's have the discussion about this. When we say pragmatism, the term pragmatism derives its origin from a Greek word pragma, meaning activity or practice or action. Diba? There is a certain activity and or practice, and of course in an activity there is in need of action. Matik naman yun, di ba? Even we are in a classroom scenario. So if a teacher tasked, okay, the pupils to do an activity, for example, cooperative learning. So of course, action takes place. Okay. But then it will not end there. Okay. Education is preparation for life. Pragmatism makes a man socially efficient. They believe that the children should not be asked to work according to predetermined goals. They should rather determine their goals according to their needs and interests. So we do have the aims of education as formulated by pragmatists to create new values, to enable pupils to gather experience through activity, to help the pupil to adjust with him and the society, to help the pupil to reconstruct his experience, and to make all-round development of the pupil. Going back. So if the teacher tells students or the learners to do an activity. The objective is of the teacher is not uh, or not for the learners to just memorize what they have learned. Okay? There is the term as well. Where's my highlighter? Asan na ang aking highlighter? Okay, this one. And then I want to choose my favorite color. Create new values. Automatic. While students are doing an activity, while they are collaborating with one another, they can learn. Diba? We do have a famous line or statement, which is learning by doing. A phrase, sorry. So, out from what they have learned from the activity itself, so they can create another learning through what? Through application and through realization. Diba? Ay, oo. Diba minsan, kahit nga tayo in a real life, once we experience something, so we tend to, oh, I see. Diba? So, there is an associated learning concerning on what we experience. The second one, to enable pupils to gather experience through activity. An activity, okay, serves or creates, okay, an experience to our learners. Kapag binibigyan ng mga teachers or kapag binibigyan ng teacher ng activity ang mga bata, diba? Aside from belongingness, aside from socialization, so natututunan nila on how they can apply, diba? On how they can apply what they learn out from that particular activity. Yung experience yun yung hindi natin mababayaran. Their experience at the same time, while they are experiencing something, they learn. Next, to help the pupil to adjust with him and the society, of course. I mentioned a while ago about socialization. So, for example, you are included in an activity, specifically a group activity. So, kung sa tingin ng bata ay, I need to adjust. I need to go with them. Diba? Yung sense ng competition nakikita natin. Hindi po pwedeng si leader lang lagi yung magpe-perform. Hindi po pwede na si leader lang lagi yung magpe-present. Diba? So from there, the sense of responsibility at the same time is triggered. So mapapansin natin, teka. Lalo na pag high school. Diba? Yung kapag high school yung handled students natin. So mapapansin natin na not all the time, hindi lang sa leader yung maglilid. Not all the time, hindi lang si leader yung magpe-present. Diba? So, may mga pagkakataon na kung saan, rotation minsan. Pero kung sa bagay, hindi naman sa lahat ng activities sila yung magkaka-grupo. Sorry, excuse me. Diba? But bottom line of that, pupils know how to adjust. How to adjust in every situation that they are facing. Next, to help the pupil to reconstruct his experience. Okay, reconstructionism is very important. And in some instances, our experience can be as well our basis on how we can make the activity. Di ba minsan may pagkakataon na gano'n? Okay? Yung experience natin, parang nai-relate natin doon sa activity. For example, yung activity is about farming. So yung bata, ang tatay niya, farmer. So based on his own experience, so alam niya kung ano yung ginagawa ng isang farmer. So during the activity, automatically, that particular student can perform, can share something about it, right? And then the last, to make all-round development of the pupil. So holistically develop yung ma-perform sa estudyante natin. Diba? We are doing our best, we are teaching our best, okay, we are giving our best for our learners to learn, of course, at their best. Because we want to develop them holistically. So yun yung aim natin. Hindi lang ng mga pragmatist na yan, kundi tayo rin ng mga teachers. Di ba? Yun yung aim natin, to develop them, okay? To make them a globally competitive citizen. Or to develop them to become globally competitive individuals. Okay po? So, ayan. And then we have question number 7. Every first day of the school year, Ms. Maala prepared activities which will make her grade 4 pupils introduce themselves to class. What process did she emphasize? O, ano bang process yun? What cultural process? Okay? Does she or did she emphasize? A, acculturation. B, socialization. The indoctrination. Sorry, that is C. And the enculturation. You can now answer. I'll be giving you. Asan na yung timer ko? Okay. 30 minutes to answer this question. Okay, time is up. So the answer is letter B, socialization. So did you get the correct answer? Now let's have the discussion. Cultural transmission is the process by which information is passed from individual to individual via social learning mechanisms such as imitation, teaching, or language. So there are different processes of cultural transmission. So we do have socialization, enculturation, acculturation, and indoctrination. So when we say socialization, so it is the process through which we learn, okay, let us take this term, learn, the norms, customs, values, and roles of the society. Of course, from birth to death. Okay, so these are the things that we're going to do, or that we need to learn for us to be socialized, or for us to socialize with others. And then we do have enculturation. It is a process of acquiring rules, norms, values, customs, and guidelines of a culture in order to be part of a society. So being part of the society is necessary. So of course, you wanna be included, you wanna feel that you belong in a society. So you have to do this process, which is enculturation. Next, we do have the third one, acculturation. So it is a process whereby attitudes and behaviors of people from one culture changes. Bakit pa nababago? It is being changed when they interact with the people of another culture. typically the dominant or host culture. It is generally accepted that there will be mingling of both cultures as its culture interact and changes one another to a certain degree. So when we say acculturation, so you are learning from other culture. You are accepting other culture. You are absorbing other culture. Okay? And how can you do those things? How can you learn? How can you adopt? How can you accept and absorb others' culture? So through interacting din. Di ba may ganun? Halimbawa, yung kaibigan mo taga-ibang lugar from Visayas. So ikaw, Tagalog ka. You are from Southern Luzon. So you have different cultures. And through your own or through the difference of your cultures, di ba? Doon kayo natututo. Unti-unti yung natututunan, unti-unti kayong nakaka-adapt sa culture na meron ang bawat isa. And then we do have indoctrination. It is the process of repeating an idea or belief to someone until they accept it without criticism or question. So when we say indoctrination, so here, being insistent ba? Can I say that being insistent is part of this, repeating an idea or belief to someone. So, what you want to do is to tell other people repeatedly that this is your culture. Yung tipo na, ito yung culture, ito yung belief na meron kami, ito yung paniniwala na meron kami. So, just accept it. Diba? No more, no less. Okay. Now let's have question number 8. In the parlance of test construction, what does TOS mean? So, alam ko naman na kayong mga magte-take ng LET, alam nyo na yung meaning nito. Diba? Kasi during your field study, if I'm not mistaken, so you, aside from doing the lesson plan, so siguro nakapag-create din kayo ng test questions. It can be summative test or kung pwede na your critic taught you on how to create TOS. Ano ba yung ibig sabihin ng TOS? A. Table of specifics. B. Table of specifications. C. Table of specific test items. And D. Table of specific themes of specifications. Mali na yung tingin ko. Okay? So, nasaan yung countdown ko? So, ito na yung 30 seconds niya, no? And ang tagal na, malapit na akong matapos. Naka-off cam pala ako. Pero ano naman okay lang naman kahit naka-off cam ako, no? So mahalaga yung boses ko naririnig. Now, I will reveal the answer. Ano nga ba yung tamang sagot? Hindi alam mo. So, wala pala yung comma dun sa question. Okay. Let's have the correct answer. At alam ko, lahat ng makakanood nito, tatama sila ng sagot dito. No? At kung meron man nanonood, parang meron yatang isa na nanonood, maraming salamat po dun sa isa na nanonood ngayon. Thank you. Maraming salamat sa support. Okay, the answer is letter B, Table of Specifications. Ano ba yung Table of Specifications? So ito naririnig nyo na lagi. Kaya nga lang, di ba? So as a teacher, you must be well versed when it comes to TOS. So paano ba siya? Ano ba siya? Ano bang ibig sabihin? What is this all about? The Table of Specifications, or TOS, is a tool used to ensure that a test or assessment measures the content and thinking skills that the test intends to measure. So let's have other meanings concerning TOS. So it requires a thorough knowledge of revised Bloom's taxonomy. So kanina in our early question, so nabanggit ko na yun yung revised Bloom's taxonomy. And I will elaborate this later on. It requires as well as reference the budgeted lessons allocation of time per topic in every grading period with respect to the desired number of days, time to be spent for the grading period. So, number of questions, ilan ba dapat? Per objective, ilan ba yung ilalagay mo? Diba? And of course, the total number of days and time to be spent for the grading period. And then the last one, it requires some simple mathematical computations that will result in proportional allocation of test items per topic. So here, simple computation lang naman, the percentage, okay, that is being allotted in every question. Halimbawa, you have this objective and there are 5 questions, okay? On this objective, so of course there will be a computation. Ilang percentage pa? Kasi of course you have to make 100%. So kung halimbawa 5 out of 20 questions, so i-divide mo siya. Diba? 5 divided by 20 times 100. So yun yung percentage, okay, which is allotted to those specific items. Ano? So yun. Now, ano ba yung role ni revised Bloom's taxonomy sa TOS? Gone are the days na meron tayong Bloom's taxonomy lang. So ngayon nabago na siya, no? So what is being used nowadays in DepEd or in creating TOS? Of course, kapag po kasi mayroong exam, whether it is summative or quarterly exam, but I don't know this time if there will be quarterly exam, no? So kasi nga hindi pa alam kasi galing tayo sa pandemic. So during pandemic times, so quarterly exam was submitted. Okay, so ngayon siguro magkakaroon ng another guidelines concerning grading and assessment, ano? Kasi during pandemic, amended si DepEd Order number 8 series 2015. Oo. So nagkaroon tayo ng DepEd Order number 30 series 31, sorry, series 2020. Okay. So yun yung grading, okay, during pandemic. So nawala yung quarterly exam. Ano? Okay. So yeah, Bloom's taxonomy. So we'll start with remembering. When we say remembering, it is just merely recalling of facts. Yung memorization ba? Kaya nga lang hindi naman laging mag-memorize lang tayo. Diba? And then, aside from remembering, so ilang question ba yung included dun sa understanding? So kanya-kanya kasing area yun. Ano? So from remembering, so alin ba? So the teacher can gauge, then the teacher can gauge ilan ba yung questions which can be included in remembering on that level. And then the second one, understanding. Of course, when we say understanding, okay, ilang questions ba yung dapat nakaalat or under nung understanding level. When we say understanding, so learners do comprehend, of course, and they can explain ideas or concepts. Ayan. So nandyan po makikita nyo guys, makikita nyo yung mga different verbs which you can use kapag gagawa kayo ng objective per level. So hindi ko na po iisa-isahing basahin yan, ano? And then application. Imagine guys, application is very important when it comes to learning. Diba? But then, take a look. Nasa third level lang siya. Imagine. So meaning to say, learning will not stop only in application. Diba? Pansin nyo ba? Okay. Use information in new situation. So yun ang kayang gawin ng mga bata when it comes to application. And then, analysis. Diba? So the learners must know how to analyze. Diba? Analyzing. Ayan. Draw connections among ideas. So, on this aspect, learners must know how to analyze things. Okay? Connecting, interrelating one aspect to another is important. Diba? Interrelating one aspect with another is necessary. Evaluate. Evaluating is the second to the highest. Tama, second to the highest, diba? So justify a stand or decision. This is the time that the learners can scrutinize well the situation. For example, this is the time that he can be firm with his stand, diba? Kapag halimbawa yung bata, he can justify, he can prove, he can explain through evaluation, di ba? So kapag ganun, diba? So he belongs on this level. And then the last one, ito kanina nababanggit na rin to, di ba? Creation of new things. So the last or the top or the highest level is creating. Producing new or original work. So from what you have learned, so what can you create? Okay, so it can be authentic, right? So masasabi natin na authentic yung creation na ginawa mo. Kasi coming from you, or halimbawa dun sa estudyante natin, diba, minsan a-amaze tayo sa mga bata natin, diba? Out from his learning, he can create new thing, new what can I say about this? New meaningful thing. Diba? Kapag ganun, ang galing-galing ng bata minsan, minsan nasusurprise tayo pag may bata tayo na gano'n. Yung halimbawa ay through learning, nakaka-create pa rin sila ng mga other learning or other information out from what he learned. Diba? So, kaya yun yung pinakamataas. So, syempre, okay na yun. Yung the student can evaluate, diba? Student can assess, but then the student can create. Wow. It is an amazing thing. So ito po, ayan, so nandyan na yung mga verbs that you can use which are associated per level. So ibig sabihin, kapag ginamit mo lang i-define, so matik. Remembering lang yun. Pag ang ginamit mo ay design, matik. Creating yun. Kapag ang ginamit mo ay argue, matik. Diba? There will be a justification, There can be a debate, diba? Arguing. Okay, so it can be evaluating. Okay? When we say soul, so applying. Test, engage, analyzing, and then discuss. So it can be understanding. So these comprise, revised Bloom's taxonomy. So how many levels do we have in revised Bloom's taxonomy? So we do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we do have 6 levels. Okay. Next, number 9. Which does Noam Chomsky assert about language learning for children? Number 1, young children learn and apply grammatical rules and vocabulary as they are exposed to them. Number 2, begin formal teaching of grammatical rules to children as early as possible. But may I don't. Anyways, moving on. Do not require initial formal language teaching for children. Kanina ko lang kasi ginawa itong mga questions na ito. Although meron akong mga questions sa last time, dun sa Quizalize, may mga napasama na in-include ko ulit dito. But then, mostly, ay bago kong gawa yung question. Okay. Although I have a reference, may napasama tayo. Okay, A, 1 and 3. B, 2 only. C, 1 only. D, 1 and 2. So your timer starts now. Okay, time is up. Tingnan natin yung sagot, The answer is letter. What is your answer? Letter D. Okay. So kanina, in the beginning part of this live review, so I stated that one of the tips in taking the lead is you must know how to eliminate. Diba dito? Diba makikita na dyan? So, alin ba talaga yung dapat eliminate? If you're going to scrutinize each statement, alin lang ba yung, or which word led you to answer letter D? Paano mo napili yung 1 and 2? Take a look. A rich statement. Diba pansin mo? Lahat first, second statements. They are positively stated. Gets mo? Diba? Positively stated sila, Kita? But if you're going to look at statement number 3, it is negatively stated. Bakit? Alin yung naging negative doon? The term not. Diba? Pansin niyo po ba? So that is the power of elimination. You have to look at every statement. If ever the question is situational, mapapansin mo that will lead you, diba? That will lead you to select the right answer if you know how to eliminate. Imagine number 3, do not require initial formal language for, formal language teaching for children. Of course, it is required. Diba? So can you see now the process of, or the power of what? Power of elimination. Alam mo dapat kung paano ka mag-i-eliminate. Pag alam mo na hindi na siya kasali, matik, slash na yun doon sa choices mo. Gets? Okay, this is the importance of elimination. Lalo pa at ang question ay situation. Okay? Now let's have the discussion about it. Chomsky's theory of language development in children is built upon the principle that our language is the result of the unfolding of a genetically determined program. Innate kasi, di ba, sa mga bata, from sanggol pa lang yan, innate, di ba, na kung saan merong speech milestones. Di ba? From, it can be 3 months, 6 months, what else? 12, 18, and 24 months. Di ba? Kita natin, as the baby grows, di ba? As the baby is growing, kita natin yung development when it comes to language. Chomsky asserts that children initially possess, then subsequently develop an innate understanding of grammar, regardless of where they are raised. Yun na nga, as what I said. Diba? The babies have innate knowledge when it comes to learning of language. The term Chomsky affixes to this innate grammatical system, which underpins all human language systems, which is termed universal grammar. And now, we do have the 3 basic stages in language development. Of course, in the early stage, babies, diba? Infants. Okay? Are learning sounds. Di ba minsan, nanggagaya pa sila, they're imitating sounds. And prior to imitation of sounds, di ba, they can create sounds of their own. And then they learn words. As years pass by, natututo silang magsalita. And then the last one, learning sentences. So, from simple to complex, diba? Same with learning. So, diba, we are following spiral progression, diba? Habang tumataas yung grade level ng bata, mas malalim, mas madami, mas mahirap yung kanyang natutunan. So, same with language development, diba? So tayo as guardians or parents, so magagawa na lang natin is to guide them dun sa mga bata as far as language development is concerned. Okay? So para ma-develop, kaya nandito tayong mga parents, kaya nandito tayong mga teachers for them to be the guide on their side. Okay? Okay? And then, last question. This can be my last question. Oo. So, sige, basahin ko na. No? Dr. Wynette's Schools Division Superintendent acted on the complaint filed by a parent against teacher Glenn due to his alleged negligence of duty. She, the superintendent herself, issued a memorandum requiring the teacher to take leave of absence while the complaint is being heard here. Was the action of the superintendent legal? So ito, situational na uli, no? But then, there is a guideline. Ano? May guideline po kasi na sinusunod regarding this. A, no. The complaint has not yet been heard. B, yes. The superintendent has disciplinary authority over teachers. C, no. The superintendent has no disciplinary authority over teachers. And D, yes, because she is the superintendent. Si Dr. Wynix daw yung superintendent. So, tingnan natin. So, tingnan natin. So, sagutan nyo ha, 30 seconds yung allotted time. Go! Okay, so tapos na yung ano, yung time allotment natin, ano. Ayan. So, tingnan natin. Ano ba yung tamang sagot? So, parang nabigay ko rin to, kaya nga lang medyo binago-bago ko yung ano. Binago lang ako na konti. So, kung naka-attend ka doon sa aking live review session last Saturday, so I'm pretty sure na alam mo na yung sagot dito, no? But then, parang hindi ko siya na-explain, kaya ako siya sinabi. Kasi may explanation kung bakit yun yung sagot. Kasi yun naman talaga yung dapat. Hindi kailangan sa ulo mo yung tanong at sagot. Kasi kapag may mga pagkakataon kasi na ang kailangan, alam mo, yung reference. Alam mo dapat yung concept behind a particular question. Yung dapat kasi yung alam mo eh. Kaya hindi kailangan sa ulo mo lang. Ano? Kailangan kasi kailangan alam mo yung concept para at least paikot-ikutin man yung tanong, i-paraphrase man yung tanong, i-modify man yung tanong, alam mo ang isasagot mo. Okay? So, the answer is, tingnan natin na, ano nga ba sagot dito? Okay, the answer is no. The superintendent has no disciplinary authority over teachers. Eh, sino ba? Sino ba yung disciplining authority ng teachers? Diba, kung iisipin nyo, ano, come to think of it. Diba, ang schools division superintendent, siya yung pinakamataas when it comes to schools division. Diba? Eh, bakit mali? Bakit hindi siya yung disciplining authority over teachers? So, there is a reference concerning this na dapat alam mo. Ito yun. When we say disciplining authority, in DepEd I am referring to DepEd. The disciplining authorities in the Department of Education shall be the secretary and the regional directors in their respective regions. Tingnan natin yung second statement. The superintendents of schools shall also be the disciplining authorities for administrative actions against non-teaching personnel in their respective schools division or respective school divisions. This is based on DepEd Order number 49, Series 2006. Take note, guys. Non-teaching personnel. The disciplining authority of non-teaching personnel is the superintendent himself or herself. Sino ba yung non-teaching personnel? Yung mga school heads. Yung mga administrative officers. Yung mga administrative assistants. So sila yung non-teaching personnel. So, ibig sabihin, kung kaming mga school heads, we committed or there is an administrative case which is filed, for example, against me, may disciplining authority is the superintendent. So, ibig sabihin, sino ba ang sa teaching? Kasi, imagine, nakikita nyo dito, non-teaching lang yung nandito. Automatic, the disciplining authority of teachers is the regional director. So yun po. That is why, balikan natin yung tanong, wala pong right si schools division superintendent to do an action if in case a teacher received a complaint. So wala po siyang power. Bakit? Kasi ang disciplining authority po ng teaching personnel ay regional director. Okay? So yun po yung pagkakaiba. So dun sa mga hindi may alam kung sino ba ang disciplining authority pag school head ng school, or school head ng school, syempre. Okay. Diba? Okay. At kapag teacher, so sino ba ang disciplining authority? So, ibig sabihin, kapag halimbawa, ang na-file na case doon sa teacher or administrative case yung ibinato sa kanya or he is filed administratively, di ba? Matik, wala pong action na dapat gawin yung superintendent. Pwede, meron, i-inform ang regional director. So, yun yung magagawa niya. Just to inform, diba? The regional director that, of course, this teacher is committing or this teacher committed, okay, mistake. At ang dami po doon, ang dami po noon ng mga administrative cases. Yun po ay nandoon sa, parang nakasama yun sa exam ko or sa quizalize ko. Kaya nga lang, I don't have enough time no, okay, na mag-explain kasi ginabi na, inabot na ata ng alas 8 kami noon, ano. So yun, but I have the reference about that. So yung mga, ano ba yung mga nakukumit, that is why teacher is filed administratively, ano, or received administrative case. So yun, for example, neglect of duty, okay, grave misconduct, dishonesty, and among others. Napakarami po na. And according to weight, so kapag light, yung admin case, so minsan, first offense, second offense, up to third offense, and then saka pa yung dismissal. Kapag naman grabe yung admin case na ipinal against a teacher or the school head, so first offense pa lang, after ni fourth offense, dismissal ka. So napakahirap po talaga. Tayo as teachers or public school teachers, so napakahirap if we will be committing mistakes or if we will be charged administratively. Ano, so kaya dapat what we can do is to do our job at our best. Yun na lang kasi yung magagawa natin, ano. Saka dapat alam talaga natin yung mga rules and regulations. Okay? Na ini-implement, okay, sa DepEd. So you are professional aspiring teachers. So kailangan ma-revisit nyo rin pati yung code of conduct for professional teachers. So dapat alam nyo yun from the preamble up to the last part, the last section of code of conduct of professional teachers kasi napakalaga po. So, ayun. So, I hope you learned on this live let review. Okay. So, sana may natutunan po kayo. Ano? So, check ko lang yung comments. Ano? Okay. So, salamat Ma'am Eliz and Ma'am April. So, last time nandito din kayo. So, salamat sa pag-support at salamat sa pakikinig sa aking let review. Okay? So, ayan. So, this is different from the previous one because I did not prepare quizalize this time. Doon kasi nagtagal last time. Ano, so, mas pinili ko na ganito muna yung setup. But still, I let the audience or the participants to answer each question. Okay, under allotted time, ano? So, opo, ma'am, meron po. Ayan, so salamat naman po at meron kayong natutunan ngayong araw. So, ayun, katulad ng sinabi ko, hindi kailangan sa uluhin natin ng question tapos yung sagot, ano? Ang kailangan natin is to know more about the concept. Ayan. So, aralin natin. Salamat po ng madami. Welcome po. So, hindi naman ako mapapagod na gumawa nito. hanggat kaya, hanggat na at medyo pagod, nagklase pa ako sa sa college at saka sa mahit kanina. Pero siningit ko siya during my free time, yung paggagawa nito, pag-prepare ng slide decks. Ayan, so sa mga manonood po nitong aking live review session, so I hope you will learn something from this as well. Ayan, although 10 lang siya kasi nga ay hindi ko na kaya ang magtagal pa sa ganitong session kasi kanina pa akong umagang kumukuta. Simula 7 a.m. So ayan. So maraming salamat sa pag-attend po. Welcome po, welcome. Ayan. So masaya ako kasi may natutunan kayo sa akin kahit papaano. Ayan. So thank you po sa inyong lahat. So I think I will end this session. I will end session daw parang klase I will end this live review. Yan nyo po mabibabalik po naman yan as future educators. Hindi po masasayang mga yeah. So I am hoping and I am praying na ganun nga. Pero aside from ano bang tawag dito? The ROI, di ba? The return of investment is ang unang mas priority ko is to help you. To help all those aspiring professional teachers out there na means darating yung time na makakanood nito kahit pa paano meron silang makuhang aral dito sa mga pinagagawa ko. So ayan. Okay. So I think so much for this, guys. Thank you for tuning in the way, Thank you for bearing with me. Thank you for staying with me all throughout this live session. So see you next time. So see you next Saturday. So exam niyo na ba yun? Exam na ba yun? Ano bang live? Okay. So I will continuously do this, So gagawin ko pa rin po ito. So I am hoping for the best na sana ay kayo ay makapasa. Okay? For this upcoming So sana sana makapasa na kayo para magkita-kita tayo kay DepEd, So ayan. So maraming sa October 2 pa. Ano mo ba? Namog! At alam niyo, natutuwa ako sa inyong dalawa. Yung bang iba yung besties, hindi ba sila magte-take? Parang kayo lang talaga yung eager na mag-review, no? Kasi, alam niyo ba, yung pagre-review kasi, kailangan talaga binibigyan niya ng time. Kailangan talaga ay nagpo-focus sa pagre-review. Na-move! October 2 na? So good thing, no? So you still have time to prepare. Oo. So ayun. Okay. Ayan. So maraming salamat po sa pag-attend. Ayan. Nakakatuwa naman. At kahit kayo dadalawa kayo naandito, salamat at kayo ay may natutunan kahit papaano din sa aking in-repair na ito. Hindi na sayang, kahit dadalawa kayo. Ayan. So next time, so siguro English naman yung ipe-prepare ko. So nakakailan na kasi ako sa ProfEd. So try ko yung English. So since English major naman kayo, so tingnan natin baka sakali Ay. So maraming salamat po. Ayan. So thank you sa inyong dalawa. Night shift po yung iba. Busy sila ma'am sa mga work. Sa amin pong anim. Dalawa lang po hindi. Okay. Sino hindi magte-take sa inyo? Sayang naman. Dapat take ng take. Ano? Ayan. So, panggabi yung iba. Bye, ma'am. Oh, yes po. Bye-bye sa inyong dalawa. Marami pong salamat. So, maraming salamat sa nakisabay sa review na ito, sa nakipag-participate sa review na ito. So, see you next week for another live session, another live let review. So, I think I'm gonna be preparing about English. Okay, mag ano naman tayo, doon naman sa majorship tayo, no. So thank you. So I will end this live. See you. Bye. God bless.